I was lucky that I could study chiropractic in South Africa. To be an animal chiropractor though, I needed to go somewhere else unfortunately because I couldn't study animal chiropractic in South Africa. So the Netherlands was a great opportunity and I studied in Germany, so that was really great. So I guess if I think about what I gave up was to leave our families, and my husband came with, but what I gained was absolutely worth it.
You're thinking true to himself.
My name is Cherie Dryden Schofield Wright. I got an extra piece to my surname 2 years ago when I got married, so it's quite the mouthful. And I'm a chiropractor. Today we're going to be visiting horse clients and we're going to be checking their spines to make sure that their nervous system is working well. So chiropractors look after the health and good function of the nervous system. So the nervous system is made up of the brain, the spinal cord, and all the nerves exiting from it. And it functions as the master control system for everything that's happening in the body. So the brain is protected by the skull, and the spinal cord with all the nerves are protected by all the small movable bones in the spine called the vertebrae. So often what happens is one or more of those vertebrae will stop moving the way that they should, and that can interfere with that communication of the nervous system. Let me check for reflexes. The really important part to check how good the signals of the nervous system is to check the reflexes. So the same as if the doctor is hitting the front of your knee and you have a jerk reflex of your leg, the horses have the same. They have an anterior, posterior, and abdominal reflex. So we always check that right in the beginning to just see how quick the brain is firing back to those areas. Not too fast, because then the horse is in stress response, but not slow, because that means that the nervous system is just resting too much and should be firing more. Zie je dat zelf ook hier?
Ik zie het, ja. Ik stond er net naar te kijken.
Yeah, exactly. So she's definitely compensating some way. You can see she's trying to find a different way to make the movement. She wants to do it, but this doesn't move the way that it should. Even though there might be segments in her spine that aren't moving optimally, she's still getting that flow all the way through to her head, which is lovely. That's how it should be. So with Sonia, you could very much see that she's got one side along her lumbar spine where the muscles are really tight on the one side and not as tight on the other side. We could rub that muscle away, but the problem will come back again. You know, the body is very smart and it's going to make that muscle tight for a reason. So it's always the key to figure out what is the reason for that. Okay, so you can see before we started there was a very distinct area here that was really tense and this one not. It's already much better, but there's definitely some type of compensation going on. Just something for you to watch and see if there's something that you notice that she's always doing on the same side or not. I gave the owner some stretches to do, especially for her chest, because she's really tight in the front. And I'll see you in a few weeks and we'll see how she's doing.
Okay, thank you. Pleasure. Goed gedaan.
I've always loved animals, and I watched a YouTube video of a chiropractor in the States called Jay Comaric, and he was checking a horse that had been in a domestic abuse situation. So the horse was highly stressed, didn't want anybody to come near him, clearly in pain. And I watched him work with his horse and clear that horse's nervous system. And within 10 minutes, that horse was a different horse. And that was beautiful to me. The question I get very often is, okay, I've had the physiotherapist see my horse, why would I need the chiropractor? For me, that's the same as trying to compare the difference between an orthopedic surgeon and a heart surgeon. They both have their specialties and both are really important, but they don't do the same thing at all. Where the physio might focus more on the musculoskeletal system, okay, I'm focusing on the nervous system. And we both have really important roles to play in the health of a horse. So it shouldn't be an either-or question, it should be an and question. The best is prevention, because it always is. By the time we see a symptom, most of the time, unless it's acute, the problem has been there for a while. So signs would be lameness once they've been checked by a vet and there isn't anything else going on there. And just general reduced performance or change in their behavior where they suddenly don't want to do what they're usually able to. So we went to check Rebel. Rebel is under maintenance care, so that would mean he no longer has any visible symptoms other than some stiffness now and then after he's been worked. I saw Rebel in the beginning of this year. He had very little movement in his hind, especially his tail. His tail really wasn't moving freely as a horse's tail should. Well, I was absolutely blown away. His reflexes are like a different horse. It's beautiful. Rebel. Boy. So proud. So good. So today was really just a checkup for him, but I was so happy to see like how far he's come in the last few months. When we saw him running, that was how a horse should be. Free moving, like the way that his body was absolutely designed, like good communication from his brain to all the muscles, make him able to run and be free. That was beautiful. So from a horse that I saw 6 months ago to where he was now, yeah, that's the goal, that free movement that every animal has within them. My ideal client is really a client that wants the best for their horse. I get calls many times about horses that have been injected many times, and the point for that person is just to have their horse work harder and do what they want when they want it, and yeah, that's not respect for the horse. So my ideal client is the people that just want the absolute best for their horse, who want a horse to be healthy but also happy, and to live up to their maximum potential. Well, animals are not machines. Their bodies are not machines. We treat animals like they owe us something and that they should be performing for us or doing what we want, but they're sentient beings with their own wills and desires, and I think we would do much better if we respected their will, and it would be a mutual respect between humans and animals.